What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Honeystead. I came up to the garden because I wanted to do a video on a few of my favorite herbs that I need to set up as a tincture. We're still going to do that, but I figured this might be another good opportunity to teach you about one of the herbs that I keep in our emergency first aid. One of my emergency first aid herbs. And, well, I accidentally stabbed myself with my pruning shears. And so we're going to talk about one of the herbs that are going to help with blood clotting. It's known as hemostatic or styptic herbs. And so before I get going onto this, let's go talk about Yarrow, Achillea millefolium. And it's one of my favorites. So let's go introduce you to Yarrow. So this beautiful little plant is called Yarrow. I'm just going to pop off a little bit here to kind of show you what I would do. Luckily, it looks like my stab wound is going to be fine. It doesn't need stitches or anything like that. But this is a good opportunity to talk about Yarrow. So obviously, we are. I got a mason jar with some water on it, and I'm gonna get the blood cleaned off of it before I go in and wash my hands. But basically, in short, you can use Yarrow as a poultice, which there's a few different things that you can do. You can chop it up. I'm just gonna rip it up. I've even chewed it up, but I take a little bit of everything, a little bit of the flowers, a little bit of the leaves, and I'm just going to kind of macerate it up and make an emergency, not really emergency poultice, but in the event of you cut yourself, if you're out on a hike or if you're away from a location where you can get some first aid, this is herbal first aid. Now, outside of it offering hemostatic-like properties and helping with blood coagulation, it also is antimicrobial. So it's very beneficial, especially if you experience some type of wound. What are you going to do? You want to make sure that it stays nice and clean and not get infected. So Yarrow is definitely one of the herbs that is in my herbal first aid kit. And I think we're going to kind of start talking a little bit more about that, because I've had a lot of people ask, what are the plants that I have in my herbal first aid kit? And I'm like, do I have to just pick one or two or 10? Can I pick a lot more? But in all honesty, yes, I can narrow this down, and I'm working on that to be able to offer that to you guys. It looks like you can't even see the cut, which really the skin kind of folded over, so it's really not too bad. But I just held that on there for a couple of minutes, and yeah, great garden first aid. Told you, I'm always hurting myself out here, so that is why we grow the things that we might need. So this beautiful little plant right here is called lemon balm, and it is a very delicious smelling herb for sure. It smells very much citrusy, but we enjoy lemon balm for its relaxing benefits that it offers. So I like it in the tincture form. It's very calming. Great if you are just kind of feeling a little frazzled and really just anxious. But lemon balm is lovely. I love it in a tea form, but it also is great in a tincture form. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest just what I need to set up this tincture, and then I plan on coming back through this weekend and harvesting a good bit to bring to our local farmers market. And then also I need to do another big harvest just to set them up and dry for tea form so we can enjoy lemon balm during the winter months. But I wish you guys could smell, this. And here is one of my other favorite plants that I have growing in our garden. It is my passion flower fortress. Now this is Passiflora incarnata. It is medicinal and it has a lot of beautiful relaxing properties. Used it for stress, anxiety. I use it in tea form. I have a few videos out of passion flower, but I'm going to harvest just the leaves because the bees are really enjoying. Look at all that pollen on that one. It was actually really funny. I saw a honeybee land on top of the back of one of these big old bees and collect the pollen that was on the back of it, and I laughed so hard. That was so funny. But the honeybees are definitely enjoying all of these flowers. But isn't that stunning? And this is where I like to come and sit and get out of the sun because it's completely covered. I did go ahead and harvest a flower or two. It's not going to hurt, but mainly it's going to be your leaves, aerial parts. Isn't that beautiful? But I have quite a bit more. I think this is going to be more than enough for what I need to set up right now. So let's go back and go ahead and wash them because it has been a little bit dry lately. And so we're going to go ahead and give them a good little wash and inspect them, and then set them up in a tincture. A lot of the times I like to wait until we get a really good thunderstorm to do all of my harvest because I love the fact that the rain can wash all of the gunk away, and typically it's nice and dry by the time that we go to turn it into something, whether that's tincturing or freeze drying or just drying it for a tea. But it's been very dry and like a little bit of a dust bowl lately, and so I wanted to go ahead and just wash all the dust off. Now I do try to get as much moisture off of the plants as possible before I go to start tincturing it. The reason is because I don't want to throw off the water ratio. I don't want my plants to be really wet by the time I put them in the jar and have them tinctured, so I do try to get them dry, at least as dry as possible. These are great. These aren't bad. A salad spinner works great. And sometimes you can also lay it out just in the sun for a little bit, just to get all the moisture off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set these tinctures up separately. And I wanna just be very clear, I don't like to mix and tincture my plant matter together because I feel like that limits you on your potential to turn it into something and concoct something and use it. Now, these two taste and are super effective when tinctured and then combined together at a 1-to-1 ratio. I wanted to bring the flower just a little bit closer so you guys can see what I'm about to share with you guys. Now, passion flower is also known as maypop. You'll hear me say maypop, but most of the time I call it by its scientific name, which is Passiflora incarnata. There are a few different passion flowers out there, but this is the one that has the most desired medicinal properties that we're seeking. Now, there's something that's interesting about how passion flower, how its name came about and what it represents. But basically the name came from its beautiful flowers, but it's also thought to represent Christ's crucifixion. And if you look, there are 5 stamens, which are here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the 5 stamens represent 5 wounds. Now there are 3 styles, which are 1, 2, and 3, and that represents the 3 nails. And the white and the purplish blue color is for purity in heaven. And I just thought that this was a beautiful little story on how what it represents and how passion flower, you know, kind of got its name. But it doesn't look like any other flower that typically grows out here, but it is one of my favorites. Now, some of the key actions that passion flower offers is it is a sedative. You can actually go and get over-the-counter passion flower tablets and take them for insomnia. Do your research first, obviously, and actually just do your research about both of these plants that I'm sharing with you, as well as yarrow, because it's only going to make you a better herbalist. But it is also considered a tranquilizer and used primarily to just kind of bring on relaxation and just allow your body to just calm. It's very relaxing. And you know I talk about herbs. I know I share with you there's a lot of herbs out there that are just extremely sedative and calming, but you have to think about what your body does at night. So it's that reset. It's that ability to just let your body relax and reset for the next day. And sometimes that's what our body needs most. We're kind of wild woman styling it, but this would be a 1 part plant matter to 2 parts of your menstruum. So your menstruum is basically the liquid that you're going to put into your jar that's going to help extract out the medicinal properties that the plant offers. Now, you could use a few different things, because I know I have a lot of people that reach out and they ask like, hey, I'm not a big fan of alcohol. Can I use something else? Yes. You can use glycerin to make a glycerite tincture. It's super sweet. I'm also playing around with honey specifically to see if it can, see what that can do. And then the other thing that you can use if you're not a big fan of using alcohol, vodka is what I am going to use. But you can use apple cider vinegar, which is a great alternative. The shelf life isn't as long as an alcohol-based tincture, but it's gonna do just fine. So I'm gonna take my scissors and just kind of chop it up and kind of eyeball it. And this is gonna be for me and my mom, because I know that we are running low. So just letting you know, you do have a few options on your menstruum choice that you can use. I've also used powdered passion flower as well in capsule form, which is great, super easy, easy to take. And there are so many so many alternatives to how to incorporate the plant medicine into your system. Now this is going to be just fine. It'll be nice and green. I'm not going to, don't pack down all of the plant, but I am going to go ahead and take my scissors. Any of like the really hard stuff I'm just going to kind of cut off, but I'm going to take my scissors and just kind of macerate it up. I do have a little trick though that I have learned to do. So I have an immersion blender. So after I've noticed the plants have kind of helped kind of absorbed some of that menstruum, the alcohol that I'm using, I have taken my immersion blender and I've put it in my jar and really pulverized the plant matter. You want most of the plant matter that's inside to be exposed to the menstruum, which is the liquid that we're going to use. I will also add, just because every once in a while it gets missed, but we do have a tincture tea blending workshop coming up here in September. September 9th is the day that we are going to be offering that workshop. And what I love about our workshops, all of the herbs that I grow in our garden, we set huge tables up. It's a beautiful event, and everyone will get an opportunity to enjoy the harvest that we have. Make your tinctures. We're going to set up a lot of blends. I feel like last time at our last workshop that we had, I mean, the people that attended, they left with a lot, a lot of herbs. But that is one of the reasons why we grow so much too, is because I absolutely love bringing people out and letting them get this opportunity to experience. So if you're interested and if you're in our area, heck, we've had people from literally all over the world. One of the last workshops we had people come all the way from Alaska. And if you guys are watching, hi. That is all I'm gonna do. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. Except I want this little flower. I almost don't want to chop the flower up. It's that beautiful. So I might just leave it. I might just leave it and put it in the jar. Oh, look how pretty. That's so pretty. All right. So we are going to top it with alcohol. And yes, you can measure it. You can do your ratio. I am completely comfortable wild woman styling it. And I am going to use what I have, which is 100 proof vodka. And you can easily come by that. Anything higher out here sometimes is a little bit harder to come by. But my goal is to fill it all the way up so that the plant matter is completely covered. And then what I'm gonna do is take it, put my lid on it, shake it like this every single day for at least 30 days, and then we're gonna strain it out. And so this needs to sit, but it is beautiful. Now I need to tackle my lemon, oh my gosh, my lemon balm, which, oh, gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and go wash these though real quick. Next, we're gonna talk about lemon balm, or Melissa officinalis. Now this one, I absolutely love it. You can use it in multiple different ways. Obviously, we're gonna set it up as a tincture, but it is one of my favorites to add into our nighttime teas. Again, it's very relaxing. It is an antispasmodic, so I've shared in the past, if anyone tends to get the like anxiety belly, you know, like where your gut is just like, ugh, you know, from your nerves. This would be one that would kind of calm that down. It's also a carminative, so that's basically settling the gut. And it's considered a nerve tonic as well. And I've used it in tea form at night if I have a headache, like a real bad tension headache. This is one that I'm like, oh, yes, okay. It's gonna help relax and just ease that tension. It's gonna uplift my mood, and it is gonna taste amazing. But I was also reading about essential oils, and that is one thing that I would love to maybe start kind of talking about a little bit more in the future. I'm debating on getting a still to make my own essential oils, and the reason why is because I think that they smell lovely, and plus I think that the copper stills are quite beautiful. But this was kind of interesting about lemon balm as an essential oil and some of the other properties that it can offer. For anyone who might be experiencing shingles, using the lemon balm essential oil on your shingles is supposed to be very beneficial. Thought that was kind of interesting. You can also take this, set it up in an oil to make a skin salve with it, or to make a lotion with it for bug bites or bee stings. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do with this plant, but today we're just gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna chop it up, and we are going to fill it with some vodka, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna take it and macerate up as much as possible. And boy, this smells heavenly. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm not gonna pack it down. I'm gonna leave it nice and fluffy. Whatever is left over, it will not go to waste, I promise. Oh my goodness. This smells amazing. Same thing, we're gonna do 100 proof vodka. I'm making a big mess. Where's my mom? She's gonna be like, where's your tray? And I'm gonna be like, Now all that's left to do is to label your jar. So you're gonna put the name of it. So this is passion flower, also known as, and I'm gonna write this kind of small because I know it, but I'm just letting you know the scientific name, passiflora. And then incarnata, I'm just doing IN because I know what that is. And then after that, you're going to put, where'd you get it from? What did you use as your menstruum? So this came from my garden. And today's date is 8/24, and we did the ratio 1 part plant matter to 2 parts of your menstruum, aka Wild Woman. And I am using 100 proof vodka, which is 50%. 50% vodka. Come on, Kaylee, you can spell. And basically, in short, that is just kind of what we put on there. 100 proof is the same thing as 50% vodka, just to let you know. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the lemon balm, obviously, but change the name. And then after that, you're gonna store it in a cool, dark place. So in a cabinet, in a pantry, downstairs in the basement. The big thing is don't put it necessarily directly in the sunlight, because the sun will break down the plant matter, and so you don't necessarily want that to happen. Now, after 30 days is when we're gonna go ahead and strain this. I'm gonna take a 2-ounce tincture bottle that I have, and my combination for this ratio is gonna be 1:1. So I'm gonna pour 1 ounce of my lemon balm extract of my lemon balm tincture with 1 ounce of my passion flower, and that will pair beautifully together. You can also play around and add like milky stage oats if you want to nourish your nervous system as well. But my beautiful herbal school teacher, who I've shared with you guys about, her name is Teresa. She owns Green Comfort School of Herbal Medicine. She was the one that introduced me to this combination as a tincture, and she called it liquid Valium, and I can definitely agree. So other than that, in about 30 days, we'll press these out and I will show you what we do with it next. Hopefully, if I remember. If not, hopefully you can understand the next step based off of my description. So And that is one of the things that I think is really cool about herbal medicine. So, as always, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and learn something old. Bye, guys.